Welcome to the shed. I'm Syd, Mackie's on the camera, and today we are trying out and rating 4 different ways of running internal cable routing. That's why we grew big brains as humans, because we could use tools or something like that. For these tasks, we will be using new cable housing, electrical tape, dental floss, a small piece of used cable, our favorite poker tool, the shop vac, and the Park Tool internal cable routing kit. We chose to do this little experiment on this bike. This is the Niner Rocket RKT. It is a bit of an older design, so it has that older style cable routing situation where everything is kind of all mixing together in the same compartment. Our newer model bikes have cable routing that essentially has its own little path for each cable, and that is much easier. So we wanted to challenge ourselves and really try out these techniques. So we are doing it on this bike. First things first, if you are swapping a cable on your bike, do not pull the housing all the way out. I can't tell you how many times we've done that, because you're like, oh, just changing it, and then you're like, whoa, it would have been a lot easier if I had not done that first. So we are going to first show you the method to do when you have remembered to leave your cable housing in, and then we will progress to what to do when you forget to do that. So this is dropper post cable on this bike. It's in there, so we have that going for us.
If you just run housing in, there's no way to know that it's the right length.
Right.
We already know what the right length is. Just measure how much is sticking out here, how much is sticking out there, and then when we run the housing through using this piece of housing, then we can just make sure that that amount is sticking out of the frame somewhere.
All right, we've got 25 centimeters on that side and 7 on that one, so 32 centimeters sticking out. There's a couple of different ways you can go about this, but what we have found to be the most successful is take a piece of used cable, which you have because you just pulled your cable out, so you'll need to cut yourself a little piece like this. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I'm gonna take this piece off, just so we have a little bit more space to work with. Sometimes there's a screw on these. This one just requires a lot of wiggling. All right, we pulled this little thing off. That'll give us a little bit more space. What I'm gonna do is take this little piece of used cable, stick it in like that, stick it in on this side, kind of thread them together, and that helps us tape everything. That's good. I don't think that's going to be too big. If you were trying to shove it through the little connector piece, you would probably need to use less tape. All right, now we have these connected, and we're going to push. This electrical tape is probably not strong enough to hold it to pull it, so definitely don't advise pulling through, and we'll see how we do.
So really we're just using the existing piece to guide that piece out. Everyone hold your breath in anticipation. Ta-da! So now we've got that to be 7, and then what did we do over here? 20, what if 32 minus 7? You're the math geek. 25. And this is just so that if you did use that first method, you get your housing back to the length that it's supposed to be.
This is obviously best case scenario. You've done it like that. You're happily ready to merrily go on your way. However, sometimes things happen. Sometimes like that electrical tape might not make it all the way through, especially if there's like a really tight juncture where it's like hitting against it. That may not work. Or you might just completely forget and pull your cable housing all the way out and have to start over. Or you're building up a bike from scratch. So, should I pull it?
Let's say that you just had terrible amnesia and you were changing your cable. Oh no, I just pulled my housing out.
Now we're screwed. Now we're gonna be doing this for the next like 6 hours.
If you forgot and pulled your cable out, then you could use the old piece of cable to measure the new piece.
Right.
We did it the other way. We've cut ours to the right length, so we have our correct length of cable or housing. We're not gonna worry about it.
On this bike, I would say with this doing a dropper post cable, our best bet is to go in here and hope that it hits and goes straight up, right? Or is that not gonna...
I don't know, that's the hard part. let's see what happens.
Yeah.
No harm in. I've magneted onto the, how did that happen? Yeah, so this is, I feel like, often how these things go. This is the part where you get your phone, you turn on the flashlight, see how bad you're doing. Oh, pretty bad.
You can see it.
Yeah. Can't see it, so I don't think that's gonna work for us. But you know, you never know. Sometimes you get lucky, so it's worth. I think the problem is there's like a lot of different cables in there, so basically I would say before you give up entirely, it's worth. Yeah, see, this is tricky because there's a curve there in the frame. And then there's also, which there we got through that. But then even if this does work, it's gonna be like quite entertaining to try to fish it out of there. So
basically you shouldn't try that method because it's probably not gonna work.
for certain frames, it works fine.
Yeah, for dropper post cables, it tends to not work as well because you almost always have this like V shape. Whereas for, you know, just like derailleur, it's like it goes in up here and then it comes out down here or back here. And so that's much more likely to work.
Yeah, so if you have something that comes out here and there's like multiple cables, sometimes you can use like this little guy or something similar to like hook the one that you want, pull it out. Yeah. We didn't get to that stage here because we couldn't even get it there, so.
On to the next method.
Should we try the vacuum?
Yes.
I've always wanted to try the vacuum. Okay, so I don't even know how this works, to be honest. We've never done this, but we keep hearing about it. We have our handy dandy shop vac. Okay. And this is where the dental floss comes into play. All right, so I gave this a little tight wrap around. I feel like this is probably more tape than I need, but I taped one of my hairs in for good luck. All right, so I guess you don't need like that much, right? You're sticking this end in.
Assuming that the housing is gonna hit here and stop, you're gonna need at least this amount.
But isn't it gonna be like stuck behind it? I'm kind of confused how this works.
We've never tried this. We'll just have to see if it actually works or not.
So do you like bunch this up?
No, I think I don't think it matters because it's only gonna vacuum. Like you want to get all of the string in.
Not do it like that. All right, I feel like that might be in like one giant tangle, but. All right, I fire it up. It's really loud. Ready? Okay, I don't know about this.
What happened?
Nothing. Anticlimactic.
Did it tie itself in a knot?
Yeah, but I don't think that was really the only problem.
What's the plan for try 2?
I want to get an idea if this is like doing anything at all, so I'm going to turn it on. Okay, I think that was working, but I think I have way too much electrical tape on here and it got stuck on something.
I think we need a longer piece of dental floss. You may not even have to disconnect that one, but tie and like let's just get a long piece on there.
Okay, take 3. I feel like we're on the right track there. Like you definitely want to start your force field before you've like jammed the whole thing in there. And it helps obviously to have someone else hold the.
Well, I'm not impressed by this method so far.
Let's try it from this side. You put the vacuum there. Okay. But I'll drop it down first so it's past. Okay, put the vacuum on it and see what happens. We tried it first with dental floss. Now we're moving to a slightly stronger twine situation because dental floss was a fail. All right. Ixnay.
All right, let's see if a little bit of tape and paper weight does it. I'm just thinking it'll be something for the vacuum to suck on. Well, I think we can distinctly say that is not working.
I'm just bothered now because where is it going? Like it's literally still sucking it in. It's got like 12 feet of dental floss and it's not coming out. This is the face of defeat. We've given up. We did not get the vacuum cleaner and dental floss method to work. It just all got completely
wedged in somewhere. I could see, however, that if you had a straight run, like a cable that went in, well, I'm stuck in dental floss, you were trying to go from here to like here, that you could probably get it to work. I think we're getting stuck around this corner. However, we can tell like there is a pull with the vacuum, so I don't think it's like a total 0 out of 10 rating, but like close. The vacuum cleaner didn't work. Oh well, moving on. Not gonna dwell on it. Okay, now we're gonna go on to how we actually run our internal cables, which is with the Park Tool internal cable routing kit. I would say like there is a little bit of finesse to it, so I do think it's worth including in this video. Okay, so you've got a bunch of different things. We're not gonna use that one right now. We're gonna use, they're just all tangled up, so give me a second. We're gonna use this one, which is 2, this one. So my preferred method is to run this first, then attach it to the housing and then pull it through. We've got a pretty powerful little magnet here. Got a cable with a magnet on this end and a spiky thing on the other end, which will come in handy once we've already run it through. Find it helpful to have continuous contact with the magnet, so I'm gonna kind of stick this in there where I can see it, and then I can actually see, and I'm gonna pull it around back because I know we have to get around a dumb thing. So you're pushing gently with this hand, guiding with the magnet. You can't, I feel like you can't quite straight pull with the magnet, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's less of like pulling with the magnet, it's more feeding with one hand and then using the magnet to keep contact with the other side.
If your magnet is still magneting onto your bike, then it's working, because bikes are not magnetic. Oops. So I think go all the way around, or do you think try to come in here? I don't really know what it looks like on the inside.
I don't think you're gonna be able to go all the way around because of all the linkages. I think you need to come around the side here.
Lost it.
It's probably over on this side because of gravity.
Oh, indeed. Hallelujah. Where'd it go? Thought we had done it. No.
Well, it might be on the bottom.
Good call. Remember gravity.
Remember gravity.
I think all of these methods just require a certain level of patience. I want to start bringing it around. Come on, buddy. Where is it? Obviously stuck there.
Do you have enough fed in from the top?
Hallelujah.
Excellent.
All right, well, there's a reason this is one of our favorite tools. I'm sure we would have gotten there eventually with the manual method and the vacuum. You always do.
Maybe. We might have had to take our bottom bracket off.
Yeah, that's what we would have done if we didn't have this and we had to do it right now. We'd have taken the bottom bracket off, we would have vacuumed it to there, and then rethreaded it and vacuumed it to there.
So how does this work?
Basically screw this into your cable housing, which gives you a pretty secure situation. Definitely preferable to the electrical tape method.
Oh yeah, that's solid.
I think we still may run into a bit of a hitch down here. Boom! Tools.
Tools.
That's why we grew big brains as humans, because we could use tools or something like that. All right, now that you have run your cable housing, finally, you are ready to install your dropper post. In this case, we do have a video for that, or change your shifter cables. And here is how to install internal cable routing in 1 minute. If you haven't removed your old cable housing yet, don't. First, measure the total amount of housing that is visible outside of the bike. You'll use this number to size the new housing. Now, insert half of a 6 to 8 inch piece of old cable into the old housing. Insert the other half into the new housing. Wrap a small piece of electrical tape around the junction of the 2 pieces of housing to be extra secure. Now, push the new housing into the frame, allowing the old housing to be pushed out until it's all the way through. Disconnect and remove the old housing and piece of cable. Now, cut the new housing so that the same amount of housing is visible outside of the frame. And you're done. If you forgot and pulled out the old housing, housing, or you're building up a new frame that didn't come with housing guides, take a few minutes to despair your situation. Then, try to manually run the housing by sliding it into the port, twisting it around, removing things like your bottom bracket and fork. Sometimes this works, but a lot of times it doesn't. Next, try attaching a piece of dental floss or string to the end of your housing and using a vacuum to suck it through the frame. If this works, please let us know in the comments how you did it. If not, you can always give up and order the Park Tool internal cable routing kit, finish the job, and finally go ride your bike.